Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udiraye. Before reciting Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in the classes on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the Personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Gurve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Namo Pankajanaಭಾಯ Nama Pankajamaline Nama Pankajanitraya Namaste Pankajangri. Hare Krishna, dear Vaishnavas, thank you so much for joining on this special day of Ekadashi, Madhavatithi Bhakti Janani Bhajana Anukula. These days are very, very auspicious. These are the mother of Bhakti, very, very dear to Krishna. And what could be more fortune of ours than to read Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, to absorb our mind, ears, mouth, eyes, everything in serving Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam on this special day of Ekadashi. So we are reading Canto 7, Chapter 10. We read till text number 62 yesterday, and we were discussing about the story of Lord Shiva and Maya Danava. Maya Danava gave shelter to all these asuras, and then finally they attacked demigods. Demigods took help of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva killed them, but Maya Danava had a special place, and there was a special nectarine pond. As a result, these Danavas came back to life. So let's see. And then finally, yes, that's what our meditation was. Lord Vishnu comes because he's Bhakta Vatsala. And he comes in the form of a cow and drinks all that nectar, the Mrit Sanjeevani, the liquid. He drinks that so that the nectar which was in that well, he completely drinks in the form of cow. So let's see what happens next in text number 63. Te surahya api pashyanto nyasedhana vimohitaha tadvigyaya mahayogi rasapalan idam jagau smyan vishokaha shokartan smarandaiva gatim chatam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The demons could see the calf and cow, but because of the illusion created by the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the demons could not forbid them. The great mystic Maya Danav became aware that the calf and cow were drinking the nectar, and he could understand this to be unseen power of providence. Thus he spoke to the demons who were grievously lamenting. So now, who can stop Krishna? Who can stop Lord Vishnu? So although they saw, it is very, very clearly mentioned that they were Mayadana with all his strength, with all his energies, could not forbid Lord Vishnu from drinking the nectar. And why are the demons grieved? Because now if they die, now there is no more reviving of the body. Earlier this nectar was the thing which was reviving their body. But now the nectar is pretty much gone. So how will their body be revived? As a result, they were grieving. And Krishna as calf, or Lord Vishnu as calf, and Brahmaji, sorry, opposite. Lord Vishnu as cow and Brahmaji as calf, they drank this nectar. Any other comments anyone has? Any questions? Okay, let's read the next verse. Yes, Prabir Prabhu, want to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Text 64. Deva Ashura Nara Unya Ba Na Ishara Ustiha Kaschana Atmana Unyashya Padistam Doibena Pahitam Dayo. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Maidanab said, what has been destined by the Supreme Lord for oneself, for others, or for both oneself and others, cannot be undone anywhere or by anyone. Whether one be a demigod, a demon, a human being, or anyone else. Purport. The Supreme Lord is one, Kṛṣṇa, the Vishnu Tattva. Kṛṣṇa expands himself into Vishnu Tattva, personal expansions, Shangsha, who control everything. Maidanab said, however I plan, you plan, or both of us plan, the Lord has planned what is to happen. No one's plan will be successful without his sanction. We may make our own various plans, but unless they are sanctioned by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, they will never be successful. Hundreds and millions of plans are made by all kinds of living entities, but without the sanction of the Supreme Lord, they are futile. Hare Krishna. So here we can see Maidanab, he is actually speaking like a devotee. He's saying that everything is destined by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we may have a lot of plans, but whatever Lord Vishnu or Lord Kṛṣṇa wants, that's only going to be happen. And it is for everybody, including demigod, demon, human being, or any other living entities. And Prabhupada here in the purport, he is explaining that Kṛṣṇa is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the Avatari. And all the Vishnu Tattvas, they are his Angsha. So here, we the living entities are Vibhinna Angsha. And Vishnu Tattvas, all the Vishnu Tattvas are Angsha. Just to recap a little bit. So we know that Krishna's first expansion in Vrindavan, Golok Vrindavan, is Lord Balaram. His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj and also His Grace Amarendra Prabhu, both of them mentioned that there is no difference between Lord Balaram and Kṛṣṇa except Balaram has the service attitude. He serves Kṛṣṇa. So Balaram's expansion in Dwaraka, there are 4 Chaturvha, first 4 Chaturvha. That is Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. And from that Sankarshan, innumerable Narayana come to the Vaikuntha. There are innumerable Vaikuntha planets, and Narayana is there. From there, Narayana, the second 4 quadruple expansion comes. Again, Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. And from that Sankarshan comes the 3 Purusha avatars. First is Karanodakshay Vishnu, who is lying on the Karan Sagar, causal ocean. And that causal ocean is actually made by his sweating. And when he's breathing, from his breathing, there are multiple, not multiple, innumerable, because when we breathe in the water, there is a bubbles form. And that bubbles, those are one each universe. And in that universe, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, Karanodakshay Vishnu, first expansion, Garbhodakshay Vishnu. And from Garbhodakshay Vishnu's navel, the Kshirodakshay Vishnu comes. And Kshirodakshay Vishnu goes into each and every atom. Andantarasto paramanu chayantarastam. Each and every atom, not only in living entity. And that Kshirodakshay Vishnus come as a different expansion, like Narasinghadev, like Barahadev, they are all Kshirodakshay Vishnu. So they are all Angsha. We can see Krishna is expanding so many, but their power, their Sharavidha Oshujya is not, they didn't decrease or anything. They are the same. So they are the Angsha. So Prabhupada here is explained about that. And Prabhupada explained that a devotee always believed that we can do our part, but the Krishna is the one who is going to sanction everything. If Krishna doesn't want, we cannot do anything. Even though Krishna, usually he is controlled by his pure devotees. So only we can see that pure devotee also can control Krishna. We see that in Vrindavan different pastimes. Hare Krishna Prabhu, back to you. Please add or correct.
Thank you, Prabir Prabhu. Thank you so much for nicely sharing how Krishna is the source and how different incarnations come. Even a demon like Mayadanav knows this philosophy so well, that whatever happens is by the supreme will of the Lord. But fools like me think, no, I am the controller. Ahankara vimūಢātma kartaham iti manyate. So a demon is so much well aware of this fact that you plan, I plan, both of us plan, all plans will ultimately be waste. Whatever will happen is Krishna's plan. So therefore, when our plan is aligned with Krishna's plan, then we will be happy in life. But if we make our own plans, then we'll be miserable. Most of you know Hindi. I'll speak this in Hindi first because it's very poetic in Hindi. And then I'll share in English as well. And a great Vaishnava poet has said, "Tu karta wo hai jo tu chahta hai, aur hota wo hai jo main chahta hu. Tu kar wo jo main chahta hu, aur hoga wo jo tu chahta hai." That means the Supreme Lord is speaking this, that if you do what you want to do, it won't happen. What will happen? What I want to do. Man proposes, God disposes. But, oh my child, if you do what I want to do, then that will happen what you want to do. Very interesting. Srila Prabhupada thought, just an example, let me expand my business, let me do this, then I will. But what happened? Krishna had a different plan. So he surrendered completely to Krishna's plan. He lost all his business and everything. But later, Krishna surrendered to Prabhupada's plan and helped him build hundreds of temples. Because Prabhupada's plan was what Krishna's plan was. Prithiviti ache nagar adigram sarvatra hoy prachar hoy mera naam. So if we make our plan what the Lord is speaking, then we will become instrument to execute his plan, like how Arjuna became instrument to execute the plan of the Lord. Earlier, his plan was totally else, but to not fight. But he surrendered his own plan and took shelter of Krishna's plan or Gurudev's plan. That is the whole mission of Krishna consciousness. To not do what I feel like, but rather to take shelter of the higher plan. Because ultimately, my plan, it is one devotee said, when we want to make God laugh, then we should make big plans, material plans. Then he will laugh. The whole world may be making so many plans, this and that, and this, and now COVID, everyone's plans shattered. But devotees, they keep on trying, okay, Krishna, you want me to be in this situation? I'll do what you are saying in this situation. I will not be able to go physically to do those things, but I'll do remotely as far as possible. Any other comments, questions anyone has? Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So, Dandavat Pranam. My question to Prabir Prabhu. Prabhuji nicely given all the explanation how the expansion is happening. But my question is, since we are child, we have been learned that Dasavatar, and that Dasavatar also includes Krishna. So where that idea comes from, and even so many kids book, they're telling Dasavatar. Even I got a book for my kids from ISKCON, Dasavatar, and Krishna is one of them. So through Bhagavatam, we know who is Supreme Lord, but where these things comes from and giving all the confusion. Back to Prabhuji.
Prabhu Hare Krishna, actually, if you look at the devotees, like Srila Jayadev Goswami's, that Dashavatar Kirtan is the, after Ram Avatar, he is Halohati Biti Milita Jomunabham. In that, he said, Keshavadrita Haladara Rupa, Jaya Jagadisha Hare. He didn't say Krishna, he said that it was Balaram, Lord Balaram. So, I mean, that's I think in our Indian subcontinent, that is one of the biggest problem, that we think that Krishna even come from Vishnu. I mean, so, but we know from Bhagavatam, we know from pure devotee like Jayadev Goswami that Krishna is the avatari and all the avatars came from him. If anybody has anything, please share.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. And in that, the Shavatara Stotra, as well as Prabhu mentioned, in the last line, Keshavadhrita Narahari Rupa, Keshavadhrita Kurma Sharira, Keshavadhrita Matsya Sharira, Keshavadhrita Vamana Rupa, Keshavadhrita Narahari Rupa. So that Keshava, that Lord Hari, that Lord Krishna takes different forms. It's very, very clear. Lord Brahma in this Brahma Samhita, Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Same, how each paragraph is ending with the same line. Just to keep on emphasizing on that fact. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. You may not remember anything else, but everyone remembers this line. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Again and again, he's speaking the same point, that how Lord Govinda is the Adi Purusha, how Lord Keshava takes different forms, how he is the source. Ekale Ishvara Krishna Aura Sabhabhritya. So, yes, people may think multiple things, but we have to follow Shastra. What to speak of thinking Krishna as incarnation? Many people think Krishna is just an ordinary person. And millions of people, not just I'm saying like 10, 20 people think like that. Millions of people think like that. Millions of people may have different opinions, but therefore the pure bhakti message is very, very rare. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the Amalam Purana. Very, very few people in this world dare to even get close to Bhagavatam, what to speak of opening Bhagavatam and reading it. So therefore we must be very, very fortunate and feel that, blessing and gratitude that what we have received is very, 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 very rare. There is a lot of hodgepodge and complexity in the market on the name of God, on the name of religion, on the name of Sanatan Dharma. Does that, any other comments or
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Because often we come across these questions from the other people, so it is better to know clearly so we can defend our Bhagavatam and our understanding. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Yes, Prabir, Prabhu, please.
Hare Krishna, I just want to share the same question actually asked to His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj, like few years before in Kolkata Ratha Jatra. And Maharaj was telling that, look, you may think that because we are Krishna Bhakta, that's what we are saying, but it's not. As Prabhuji mentioned that Brahma Sangita, Maharaj said that Ramadi Murtishu Kala Niyamena Tishtan, Nana Avataram Karad Bhuvaneshu Kintu. Krishna Sayam Sambhavat Paramapumanojo Govindamadi Purusham Tamah. Brahma is saying that Ramadi, Ram Adi. Adi means he included everybody. And Nana Avataram, all the avatars came from Krishna. So Maharaj, I just want to share that because as Prabhuji was mentioning that it is so, see that Krishna, Radha Krishna Bhakti was not started before Srila Madhavendra Puripad. And Maharaj was saying that
Hare Krishna. Looks like this connection issue.
For special relationship, he said Charibhav Bhakti. Good fortune.
Prabir, Prabhu, maybe you can turn off your video because your network the network signal seems to be low than normal. We can't hear you. Prabhu, it looks like your network signal is low. Maybe you can turn off your video and then speak so we can at least hear you. Are you there?
So
Yes.
I want to, sorry, I think, so I wanted to share that this same question was asked to His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj 2 or 3 years before in Kolkata Ratha Jatra. And Maharaj was telling that, look, because we worship Radha Krishna, we don't say that Krishna, not because of that. He was saying that from Brahma Sangita, as you mentioned, he was saying that Ramadi Murtishu Kala Niyamena Tishtan, Nana Avataram Karad Bhuvaneshu Kintu. Krishna Sayam Sambhavat Paramapumanojo, Govindamadi Purushantamam. Maharaj was saying that, look, Brahma is saying that Ram Adi, in Ram and all the avatars, and Nana avatar, all of them are coming from Krishna. And then Maharaj gave one nice explanation. Maharaj said that before Srila Madhavendra Puripad came, the Radha Krishna worship was not there. Even in Brahma Madhya Gauriya Sampradaya, Brahma Madhya. Srila Madhavendra Puripad first established that, and Srila Ishwar Puripad and then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he expanded that, he spreaded that message. He gave this special to worship in 4 types of relationship. And Maharaj was saying, quoting from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chari bhav bhakti diya nachai mutri. Mahaprabhu's, he was proclaiming. So Maharaj was saying that, as Prabhuji you were mentioning, I was just thinking that really we are very, the mercy which was given to us, it's really not so many people can get that. Because that Braja Prem with 4 different types of rasa, it is not given to everybody. So Maharaj was saying that we are very fortunate to be under the shelter of Srila Prabhupada and previous Gauriya Vaishnavacharyas. Hare Krishna Prabhu, back to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very nice. Okay, let's move on to the next verse, text number 65 and 66. Would someone like to read who is not read in a while? Sudhir Prabhu, you want to read?
Sure, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam, all close to Srila Prabhupada. Text number 65-66. Antasau Sakti Swabhi Samboha Pratana Nikam Vidyat Dharma Gnana Viraktya Riddhi Tapo Vidya Kriyabhiya Ratam Sutam Dvajam Vahan Dhanur Varma Saradiyat Sannadhyo Ratam Astya Saram Dhanur Upadade. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace E.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Narada Muni continued. Thereafter, Lord Kṛṣṇa, by his own personal potency, consisting of religion, knowledge, renunciation, opulence, austerity, education, and activities, equipped Lord Shiva with all the necessary paraphernalia, such as a chariot, a charioteer, flag, horses, elephants, a bow, a shield, and arrows. When Lord Shiva was finally equipped in this way, he sat down on the chariot with his arrows and bow to fight with the demons. Purport. As stated in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 12, Chapter 13, verse number 16, Vaishnavanam yata shambho. Lord Shiva is the best of the Vaishnavas, the devotees of Lord Kṛṣṇa. Indeed, he is one of the Mahajanas, the 12 authorities of Vaishnava philosophy. Swayambhur Narada, Shambhu, Kumara Kapilo Mune, etc. Lord Kṛṣṇa is always prepared to help all the Mahajans, the devotees in every respect. Kaunteya Pratijanani Name Bhakta Pranashyati. Although Lord Shiva is very powerful, he lost the battle to the Asuras, and therefore he was morose and disappointed. However, because he is one of the chief devotees of Lord Kṛṣṇa, the Lord personally equipped him with all the paraphernalia for war. The devotee therefore must serve the Lord sincerely, and Kṛṣṇa is always in the background to protect him, and if need be, to equip him fully to fight with his enemy. For devotees, there is no scarcity of knowledge or material requisites for spreading the Krishna consciousness movement. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, beautiful words and explanation by Srila Prabhupada. So here Narada Muni is continuing that, Lord Kṛṣṇa, his potency, of course, he has unlimited potency, but just to name a few, knowledge, renunciation, opulence, austerity, education, and all. So, of course, even Lord Shiva, He is also known as Vaishnavanam Yata Shambho. He is the greatest of all the Vaishnavas. And of course, here Krishna is showing by an example. So he is ready to serve his devotee anytime. So, of course, here, like how Lord Krishna wants to convey his message through Arjuna, here also, I think we should understand that he wants to convey the message via Lord Shiva, because without the will of the Lord, not even a blade of grass can move. So here we can see that Lord Shiva is the chief devotees, and he is equipped with the Krishna is he can equip him with just thought of Lord's will, anything can happen. So here we can see that the Vaishnavas or the Krishna's devotees, Krishna consciousness people, don't have any scarcity of knowledge or material requisites, but for them, Lord Krishna's service is the greatest. We have seen multiple examples, like Prahlad Maharaj, Amrish Maharaj. They were like Haridas Thakur. They were put into very very terminal position, but they never they never had any. Did not lose faith. All they were doing is pray to Lord Krishna. And the same thing, even the gopis, they were ready to go to hell forever just for a moment of Krishna's happiness. That's my understanding, Prabhuji. Please correct me. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Dev Prabhu. This verse has such a nice lesson and reminds me of Bhagavad Gita, that those who are constantly absorbed in worshipping Krishna and serving Krishna, Nanyas Chintayanto Mam, Ye Jana Pariupasati, Tesham Nitya Bhayuktanam Yoga Shemam Vahamyam. That those who are always absorbed in serving Krishna, and who could be a better devotee than Lord Shiva? I carry what they lack, and I preserve what they have. That means if we have sincere faith that Krishna, I will do my best to serve you. If one has sincere faith, Shraddha Shabde Vishwas Koy Sudrida Nishchay, Krishna Bhakti Koila Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. That by rendering bhakti, everything which is missing will come, which is required as per the plan of the Lord, Krishna will arrange. And whatever is there, and Krishna feels it's the right thing for us to be preserved, Krishna will preserve that. So ultimately, why to fear? Why to make our own zillions of plans? Krishna is showing here that my devotee, Lord Shiva, needed help. And he gave him his own personal potency. He gave him all the necessary paraphernalia, chariot, charioteer, flag, horses, elephants, bow, shield, everything he gave to Lord Shiva. Why? Because Lord Shiva was a sincere devotee. Because Lord Shiva was Ananyas Chintayanto Mam, 9.22 Bhagavad Gita. So, for devotees, there is no scarcity of material requisites. The only scarcity is sincerity in Krishna consciousness. If one is sincere in Krishna consciousness, one's faith on Krishna will increase, as His Grace Charu Prabhu was speaking, how much faith he has. And then Krishna provides, and then he is doing amazing. He has brought hundreds and thousands of people closer to Krishna. Why? Because Ananyas Chintayanto Mam. Krishna provides whatever a devotee lacks and preserves what he has. So, if we also become sincere, if we also become Ananyas Chintayanto Mam, always thinking and meditating upon the Supreme Lord, then there will be no fear. the faith will trump over the fear. So, any other comments? And then one very famous example which comes to my mind. The name of the devotee couple. Oh yeah, Bhurijan Prabhu and Jagatharani Mataji. They were preaching in Holland, Thailand area. And it was Thailand, Hong Kong, yes. So it was a struggle, and they had hardly any resources, hardly anyone was coming, and they were thinking of let's just wind up. And Prabhupada said, no, just continue, keep chanting Hare Krishna, and then Krishna will arrange. Prabhupada's own example, what resources he had when he came to United States? Nothing. He had no relatives, no friends, no money, no property, nothing. He was not familiar with the culture. He was not familiar with the weather. He was not familiar with the accent. His age was also, he was like an outlier amongst the people. Everything was against as per material calculations. But Krishna provided everything. Why? Because Prabhupada is Ananyas Chintayantoma, always worshipping me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental. Then Krishna will arrange whatever devotee lacks. Krishna will arrange whatever he has, he'll preserve. Any other comments, questions anyone has?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. So one time, the devotees, Malati Mataji and the other devotees, they really badly needed the rent of the place to save Iskon temple. And literally money flew down from the sky. They believe that somebody must have had a briefcase come down. And when they got the money, they counted it was exactly the rent. Back to you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Wow. That's so amazing. Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing. These are not some fairy tales. These are actual, for those who have faith, will take it in that way. So, and that's what the faith is required. That Krishna will help me. This demon has this faith. This demon knows everything is happening as per the divine plan. So much to learn even from a demon. Okay. Any other comments or questions before we move on to the next verse? And not many verses left, just a couple of verses only left. Any other questions anyone has? Maybe we can read the remaining verses tomorrow, and that will be a perfect, end of the chapter. Anyone has any other comments? Yes, Prabir, Prabhu, please speak.
I just want to share one pastime about the verse you just read, that Ananyas Chintayantamang Jejana Porju Pasyote Teshang Nityabhi Joktanang Jogoksamam Bahammeham. So there was a devotee. He was living in Jagannath Puri. His name was Arjun Mishra, and later on his name, people were calling him Gita Panda because he was reading every day, reciting in Jagannath Puri temple the Bhagavad Gita. So one day when he was reading, he thought Krishna cannot he cannot carry. He may carry through other person. So he crossed that line. He thought that, at that time, there was no print or any printing press or anything. They were just, all the scriptures were written. So he crossed that 3 times and write Dadam Meham. Dadam Meham means Krishna doesn't carry himself, but he does it through others. So next day was Dadoshi, but he didn't have anything. At that time, the Brahmins, they usually go for Madhukuri. Means they will go to the grihasthas place, and then Grihastha, whatever they give, they will come back and take that and offer it and take the prasadam. So that day, Dadoshi, nothing was there, and he went out. He couldn't get anything. So he was lying underneath a tree, and he was thinking about that, oh, what's going to happen? My whole family is going to suffer today. Dadoshi, and I couldn't even get that. Dadoshi time is going to be gone. So nobody can break the Ekadashi. So, and then he slept. And then he came. It was almost like noon past. He came, suddenly, and he thought, oh, what should I do? I mean, so he came and he saw that his wife was sitting, just sitting for him with all the prasadam, because she was waiting for him. So she asked him, what happened to you? I thought like you were such a gentle person. When you were not there, the two boys came. One was black and another was fair complexion. And they brought so many items. And they said, Arjun Mishra went to the king's palace today, and the king was very happy with his preaching, and king sent. But because we couldn't carry, so Arjun Mishra, he beat us. And that Arjun Mishra's wife, she saw that there are 3 marks in the black boy's back. And she was crying, and she was thinking that my husband never, he's such a gentle person. He cannot, then he thought maybe he was mentally agitated because he got so many things. Maybe he was proud. She was thinking all this thing. And then anyway, she asked those boys, why don't you sit here? They said, no, we have to do so many things, so we cannot stay. So Arjun Mishra, he understood that, oh, yesterday I crossed that word, Baham Meham. I thought Kṛṣṇa doesn't carry, he carried through other persons. But Kṛṣṇa came, and so he crossed that word again and write Baham Meham. So thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, back to you.
It's such a sweet story. Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Any other comments or questions before we stop for today? Okay, just a quick reminder for the schedule for next 3 days. Today is Thursday, tomorrow is Friday. Friday we'll complete this chapter. We have 4 or 5 small verses left. And I will also share His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu's lecture. It's a summary of Canto 8, 9, and 10. Very nice summary, about an hour and a half. So you can hear that between now and Sunday morning. Saturday is Her Grace Narayani Mataji, Srila Prabhupada disciple, very, very senior devotee. She'll be giving class Saturday morning. And Sunday morning, first we will take some reflections about chapter 8, 9, and 10. So hearing that summary will help. And if you want, you can reread the translations between now and Sunday and share 1 or 2 points. For 9 to 9:30, we'll do that, and 9:30 onwards, we will have a nice quiz. So I've already posted, don't go to the websites to search for questions. Rather focus on studying and reading and hearing. It'll be fun, spiritual fun. So that's the plan for next 3 days. Thank you so much. Very happy Ekadashi. Let's pray that we all become more sincere in our sadhana bhakti on this special day of Ekadashi, and continue to absorb ourselves more and more in chanting the holy name without offenses, and reading Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, serving the Vaishnavas, and be Ananya Shinto and Taman. That should be our goal. Grantraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Samavita Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai, Shri Ekadashi Madhavatithi ki jai. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.